What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little fun, something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that's breaking down other YouTubers' tattoos. I didn't realize that so many popular YouTubers were actually into tattoos, so that's pretty refreshing to see. Now, as a professional tattooer of over 20 years, I've seen some of the best, and I've seen some of the worst, so I'm just going to give you my opinion on these, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent, and hopefully not burn a lot of bridges. Either way, let's just get into it. Once again, welcome back. Before we get started, if you could please hit that subscribe button, as we're pushing out new tattoo content every single week. And you don't want to miss them. So the first one on my list is none other than PewDiePie.
How's it going, Rez? This is PewDiePie.
And he's got a wide selection of tattoos. The first one we're going to look over is this Swedish church with a little man peeking out of the roof. And I absolutely love this tattoo. I love all the black, the grittiness, and all those little lines that are in the roof. This one is just creepy. And it kind of reminds me of the artwork that's in the book Where the Sidewalk Ends. It looks like the artist has a very specific style, which I would think that PewDiePie actually went out and researched his artist before getting inked. Smart guy. But let's check out another one. This one is a tribute to an old pet that he used to have named Slippy the Frog. Now, obviously, the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm looking at this tattoo is the lack of line weights. Those lines just really aren't the greatest. And in comparison with the other one we just saw, it's night and day. This one almost feels like he didn't do a whole lot of research, rather just went and got the tattoo specifically for the memory. So not so good.
You know, if you do a mistake once, fine. A couple of times, fine. But enough times, and it's just become real.
And if we look at the shading that's on this tattoo, it just feels like it's randomly thrown on there. There's a couple shades that are outside the line, and I know it's supposed to have that sketchy style look, but it just seems almost amateur. The overlapping lines work well in this kind of style, however, there are a couple little lines that just don't feel like they belong there. Like the line that's coming from the belly onto the arm, and that little line that's going into the trumpet. It just feels like maybe they got a little lazy on that and they let some things go that maybe they shouldn't have. And it also looks like his back arm almost disappears behind that trumpet. I feel like there should have been some sort of little line there that just lets you know the arm is still there. But let's check out one more. On his upper arm, he's got this woman holding on to a skeleton. And again, I really like this style. I love all that black and high contrast. One thing that I'm really not sure what's happening is her right arm, how it kind of feels like it's twisting in an odd direction, but it's hard to tell what's happening here. I really do like all that black hair that's wrapping around this entire tattoo. It really adds some nice contrast and some good flow. And that line texture that's in the skeleton just really adds another nice element. For the most part, it really does look like you care about the quality that goes on your body. Nice work, Pewds. Next up on the list is Anthony Padilla with this wild abstract line work collage. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of this, if not all of this, was entirely hand-poked, which makes me wonder, did the needle get away from the artist? I'm just kidding. I actually really respect the commitment to a tattoo like this and allowing the tattooer to just do their art. Allowing this tattooer to design something that flows over your entire body, to me, was just a smart choice. Had you or anybody else got this tattoo and just half-assed it, it could have looked very strange. But again, I just love the way that this flows and how it accents certain parts of your body. I've seen some people get those lightning tattoos and they're just not so great. This actually feels like a canvas full of art because you decided to work over your entire body, and it's not just a piece of your arm. And that line on your palm, boy, I know that had to hurt. But again, I love the commitment and you wear the tattoo so well. It's nice to see YouTubers actually getting decent work. But let's check out somebody else. Septiceye has a few tattoos.
My name is Septiceye, and I have a few things to talk about in this vlog, but the first thing that you're probably going to notice from the high five is that I got a tattoo!
One of the most noticeable ones is this one on his arm of the bold hunter's mark from the game Bloodborne, which is suitable for Jack since he is a huge YouTube gamer. And zooming in, this thing is really clean and nice and dark. These are one of those tattoos that are meant to look handmade. All those little pieces that are coming off and little squiggles here and there are meant to be that way. So I think they did a good job. But in comparison with this next one on his arm, this one could use some loving, because these lines are all over the place. I know this is supposed to be one single line weight throughout the entire tattoo, but I see some blowouts, I see some thin lines. I don't think that was done by the same artist. And if it was, maybe it was way earlier in their career. I do think it's fixable, however, if another artist went over it and cleaned up those lines a bit. Now, I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be symmetrical throughout the entire tattoo, so I looked up the logo. Yeah, let's look that up real quick. Shadow of the Colossus logo. Jesus Christ, and sucker. I think that's a national-wide test. Jesus. Threw me off. All right, Shadow of the Colossus logo. Now, I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be symmetrical throughout the entire tattoo, so I looked up the logo, and to my surprise, it's definitely not, which I guess helps a little bit. but again, you can still tell that the quality of the lines just isn't there. This next one, Ryan had to tell me that this is from the movie Arrival, which I guess this is some sort of language or writing, which I've never seen, because aliens suck. I'm just kidding. And after looking at the references online, I really feel like this one could have been done a lot better. I think the splatter could have been a little more realistic because it just doesn't seem as organic as some of the other references. And I know that might be weird because it is an abstract tattoo, but the other ones just seem to have more of an artistic flow and look a bit more natural. But I do think those blacks are in there. I mean, that's not going anywhere. And the last one of Jack's tattoos is this little mug that he got with his significant other. Now, I'm not sure if that's smoke coming out or maybe an octopus tentacle, but either way, this one's definitely well done. And I like how each mug is different from each other. And obviously, these are each other's initials, Sean and Evelyn. Jack's real name is Sean. Sorry if that information wasn't public. And they clearly love coffee and octopi. But really not a bad set of tattoos for one of YouTube's most popular streamers. Real quick, I want to take a break and give a shout out to the sponsor of this channel, Mad Rabbit. Mad Rabbit is a tattoo aftercare company that has something for everyone. Whether you're an artist or collector, they've got you covered. So head on over to madrabbit.com and use code PONY20 to save 20% off of your entire order. All right, let's get back into it. Up next, we've got a rather famous YouTuber. I'm sure you've all heard the name, Jake Paul. And although he's got some good tattoos, he has a lot of questionable ones as well.
No. Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I have a lot of tattoos.
The first one up is this large back tattoo of a sword that reads "To live, something die." I can't really tell what this says because the letters aren't so great. And as far as the rest of the tattoo goes, it's not so great either. There are lots of crooked and unsymmetrical parts of this thing. I'd be ashamed to wear this one. This one almost looks like a tattoo you'd get in the 90s with the way that ribbon is sitting. It's just poorly done. There's just way too many shades happening in this blade, and I fear as he gets older that those are just gonna kind of blur together. Almost like the way that these words on his wrist blurred together. A lot of times I think artists can get away with smaller lettering tattoos if they know what they're doing. But this just looks like several different line weights and some areas just look blown out to hell. And while we're near that hand tattoo, let's talk about that, because I have no idea what that is. I want to say half of it looks like a butterfly, the other half looks like a toilet? Oh, wait a minute, I think this might be a skull. Yeah, it's like, I think it's supposed to be the socket of an eye and the middle of it's supposed to be a nose, maybe. It does look like an ear with legs. I really have no idea. You guys let me know in the comments below. The hand being one of the more visible areas to get tattoos, you really gotta be wise with your choices of tattoos. Yeah, that's a tough one. One more tattoo, we'll talk about this goat intent tattoo that's on his leg. Now obviously the letters here are a lot more legible, but it does look like it was ripped right out of a New York Times crossword puzzle. And if I'm being honest, these letters really aren't that even either. And I'm really not sure what IEB is. Maybe he hasn't figured out 5 across yet. Yeah, I'm just not sure that that's the greatest spot for this tattoo. It probably would have looked a lot more fitting being on your lower leg or even your arm, because that's a lot of space he's using up just for such a small message.
Message!
But for all those bad tattoos, at least he's doing pretty well in his boxing career. Let's see what's next. Here we have Kurtis Conner, and Kurtis Conner has a lot of tattoos, and a lot of them I really like this small little TV, for example, right in the middle of his belly. I really like this style of tattoo. It's just nice, black, clean stipple work. It's really easy to read. One thing that I do like about Kurtis's tattoos, opposed to Jake's tattoos, is he doesn't really take them so serious. A few years ago, he put out a video explaining his tattoos, so if you want to dig a little deeper, feel free to check that out. But for the most part, it just seems like he likes to have fun with these. My kind of style.
Sometimes tattoos just look cool, you know? And you get them, and that's it.
Another one of the tattoos that really stand out to me are these little flowers right below the collarbone. These things are exceptionally well done. I like all the black shading beneath the flower, leaving the flower to be a bit more open and have a lot of contrast. And for the most part, they seem pretty symmetrical. Jake, take a lesson. I'm gonna get beat up. But not all of his tattoos are that well done. Take this little rock-style Brahma Bull tattoo, for example. That thing seems like it was done during the height of The Rock's career.
It doesn't matter what you think.
That thing is so blown out, and I could see the holidays from across the street. Holidays meaning areas of skin that are still showing through. They didn't really fill it in all the way. Another one that cracks me up that's not really well done is this little skull that's dabbing. I think the line work could have been heaps better, but the message is still funny. Oh, there's 3 Brahma Bulls. I just saw the one at first. You're like, I don't want one bad tattoo, give me 3. Another one that he's got that's really fun is this little disco ball of himself that is also really well done. That one, in comparison to the Brahma Bull, you can tell is actually filled in really well. Or Brahma Bulls, now that I'm seeing all 3 of them. Again, a lot of these tattoos are fun, wacky designs, but Kurtis, if you see this video, maybe check out the artist Crocodile Jackson out of LA. I really think you'd like his work. I want to reiterate why I think these bad tattoos are better than Jake's bad tattoos. And that's because these are meant to be fun, whereas Jake's look like they were supposed to be good. I don't think Kurtis went into the appointment comment saying, "Give me the best tattoo in the world, from a quality standpoint." If we go back to Jake's tattoo, there's a quote from him saying, "You live by the sword and you die by the sword." I think that's just way too serious for a tattoo that's so bad. But let's see who we've got next. Next up, we've got one from YouTuber Ludwig Ahgren, and Ludwig got a pretty risky tattoo. He ended up getting this Twitch logo tattoo with his adorable little kitty on top. Now, I really love this one. I love the demeanor that the cat has, and I love the gradient on the actual Twitch logo itself. It's not just solid black, and it actually helps with the shadows that are coming down from the cat. If it were all solid black, then we wouldn't really be able to see those. The little pink paws are also a nice touch, and it does seem like while he was getting this tattoo, he got some attention from the YouTube CEO. She's always watching. What's wrong with this guy, Susan? I would only get a YouTube tattoo. He responds to that one, says, "Who narked?" That's fucking hilarious. So even though you did get the enemy's logo tattooed on you, you did do it for a charitable cause. You ended up raising a lot of money and you weren't just trying to stir the pot. And luckily you got a really dope tattoo out of this whole thing, so it's a win-win. Alright, that's gonna be it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I know there's a lot of other YouTubers out there with some good tattoos, or maybe not so good tattoos. So if you think we should do a part 2, let us know whose tattoos we should check out in the comments below. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Like I said, we do push out new tattoo content every week. But for now, we're gonna say goodbye. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.